Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Odin. I'm going to try this one more time because my video keeps freezing on me. It doesn't like. What doesn't it like? It doesn't like this when I bring this over, and then it freezes on me somewhere along the line. Oh, it's glitching. It's wanting to freeze. For some reason, it doesn't like this image, even though I like it. It turned out good. But yeah, it's having issues with this one camera. So, anyway, really quick, finish this up on 80s Made Consumers stream, and I didn't want to jump right on the next page. I wanted to do something different, so hopefully this doesn't glitch out. Yay. I don't know if it's just the inks and the way it's done. I don't know. It always glitches out on that one and freezes up every time I tried to make this fucking video. So anyway, once again, Odin here, your friendly neighborhood Odin. That'll might be my new catchphrase because 80s Made was giving me crap about that. I was saying that friendly neighborhood Odin. Oh, my hair looks all crazy. It always does. So yeah, I decided to work on a potential cover, a potential alternate cover. I don't know, but I wanted to change up the lettering style to something that's somewhat of an homage, a little more modern take on what EC Comics did back in the day with like Tales from the Crypt and Haunt of Terror, Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear. I don't know. I can't remember the other two very well. I could never remember them. But I can always remember Tales from the Crypt. But, you know, that shit was beaten into my head from the HBO show and the movies that were awesome. All of it. So, yeah. Just kind of an homage to that with like a block of the title at the top and then the image below it. And then since I'm doing two stories back to back in this anthology style, and I have my narrator character, which I have his name, but I'm not giving it away yet. I thought on each side of his Jesus Christ pose, basically, as they call it, that he would have a little mini poster for the one book and no mini poster for the other. And hopefully this one will be the winner, but I might just do several alternate variant covers. Who knows? Because I did this one. I'm going to hold it up to the big camera because I don't want it to freeze my other one. Of course, I'm not particularly drawing, but... And I did like the title on that one. And that will either just be another cover, variant cover, or just a poster, or whatever. Once I get to creating tiers and what I want to replicate as, you know, potential different tiers to back, and I go, well, if we do posters, we could do variant covers. We'll see. Cross that bridge when I get there. But that's one reason I'm making this video is that when I first started this process, I was a little advantageous, I guess, on timing wise, thinking that I would have things done much faster than I would, and also realizing that there is also a very big learning curve, which I've talked about many times on my channel here, that of not just making a comic book to the end, but also crowdfunding. So many learning curves that I'm going to get to down the road. But right now, because I'm new to, I guess, the CG world, the independent comic books world, and I'm getting my name out there and wanting to be somebody, you know, somebody that the people recognize, and people can see my artwork and decide if they want to back it. But right now it's like this simmering thing, you know, like I'm just getting to know people, making friends, and everybody's super cool. And I really appreciate 80s Made Consumer allowing me to come on his channel and be a part of his panel, which is always fun. We had a great stream last night where the subjects kept rolling, the chat was lively, people were coming in and out, lots of fun, lots of just hilarity in the chat. I mean, those guys are fucking hilarious. And so yeah, I appreciate him letting me be a part of that, and that gives me a little bit of exposure too for the book, and then also just wherever I can stick my nose in and just say hi. And again, it's not even about promotion a lot of times. It's just really getting to know people. And I think if it becomes just about promotion, then that's sus, as the kids say, as my kids would say. So I'm not doing that. I'm just letting people know who I am, and being a part of the community, which is a great community. It really is. It's fun. People are cool, and people are having a blast, and we're just enjoying this unprecedented time in comics. So all that said, I'm getting near the end. That page that keeps glitching out, that's very near the end of the one story, and then I've got the other story, which will be much shorter to draw, and then yeah, that's when I'll probably go full branding, and it'll be hitting everything hard, trying to get on people's streams, trying to promote, trying to just be as much in everyone's face as possible, but there'll be branding, and that's kind of why I'm working on different lettering styles, and I may use both. I really like both of them, and I may do one time, one another time, variant covers, all this kind of stuff. So who knows? But at the end of the day, I want to have everything pretty well complete, do a lot of research, and also let that simmering of people getting to know who I am and see if what I'm doing looks like something they're going to be interested in. So that way, when I do hit the ground running and really go full bore with the marketing and branding of this, that we have our best path to success, and also, make the best relationships, and really be a part of this awesome community of not just creators. A lot of it is creators, but we're not just creators supporting creators. There are lots of actual just fans of comic books that are creative people, because I think all people who are into fantasy and sci-fi and horror and comics and superheroes, you're usually a creative type person. So that's it. And the one's nearly done. It's a little more on the, I wouldn't say serious side, but definitely as far as anthology horror type stuff, it's more on the serious side. And then the other one's going to be more tongue-in-cheek, campy, I guess, not taking itself too seriously, and a little more fun. So we'll have lots of both, but that's kind of why I want to do two stories, and I've explained this as two stories so that nobody's surprised if they get one that's a little more serious, or they're not surprised when they get one that's a little more campy. Yeah, so that's kind of the update for Unconditional Shove. I would normally be coming back from softball right about now, but they canceled all our games because the weather is inclement. We have thunderstorms like crazy, and I know the rest of the country is like, from what I've seen, having like crazy heat waves and stuff, but where I'm at, it's been a very mild spring. Mild as in not warm or not, and it's not been too cold, but it's been right around like 50, 60, 70-ish, in that range. And I love it. I absolutely love it. But we have been getting a lot of thunderstorms, so they called off softball, even though I would have played. It would have been fun. But the other day I was driving in a ridiculously crazy monsoon. I mean, there was so many people just pulling to the side of the road. They're like, I can't see. They were just freaked out. I was like, I'm going to go for it. A little slower than normal, worried about somebody not being able to see me, but I couldn't see shit. So you're like, getting close to the window, trying to squint, and it doesn't help. The windshield wiper's going as fast as freaking possible. Nothing helps. It's just drive it on faith. But that was insane. And this lightning and thunder all around. So while that crazy storm is going on, you're just hearing booms of thunder, which I love. And if I wasn't driving, I really would have appreciated it. Just standing on my back porch or something, hearing that crashing rain, just it's one of my favorite things. But driving in it was a bit hairy. But that's it. They called softball off for that, so gave me a chance to draw a little more on this. What else is going on? So this coming weekend, I'm gonna get my oldest child, and we are gonna go camping. So hopefully the weather holds out next weekend. I don't mind camping in the rain as long as it's not, it's not so bad when you have a place to keep things dry. So I got my truck and we'll keep things dry in there. But some of my favorite camping trips have been in the rain. But as I think about camping with her, reminded of a new friend, a new, like, it's kind of like, again, fellow creator type promotional friend. But we met through YouTube, and his channel is awesome. Is the Tattooed Biker. And as I go camping, I have to think about camping. I go camping alone at least once a year. And his channel is all, so if you're interested in this kind of thing, it's all unexplainable phenomena, paranormal, aliens, ghosts, haunted houses, cryptid, crazy camping stories, which are the ones I like, even though I'm like, those are the ones that are going to hit me the hardest. Probably why I like them the most. And yeah, he just did one about crazy stories in the woods. I'm like, shit. I'll be extra sensitive about that, which makes it more interesting, I guess. And I've had crazy stories in the woods, but not anything that would be noteworthy to put on his channel, because what he does is he narrates them. He's got a great narration voice. It's real subtle, nice and smooth. And he'll just get letters, or he'll go find stories from the past and just retell them. And then on the video, in the actual video of it, is Grand Theft Auto, but it's always at night and driving around on his bike, just in the weird areas of the Grand Theft Auto world, like the back areas. So it's kind of adds an element, but you're not really paying attention to the video too much. You just listen to him narrate these letters, these stories, and it's really fun, especially if you're into any of that. Check out Tattooed Biker. I'll put his link to his channel in the description. But yeah, he's totally cool. He's been real supportive of me as well, which I appreciate, because I'm supportive of him. I like what he's doing and enjoy his stories. So yeah, I've got that coming up. So I just ate, and the grumblings in my tummy are happening, and I hope it's not the eggs I got. So I went to karaoke with my buddy, and we go to this place out in the middle of nowhere, basically. I mean, it's a country bar, biker bar kind of. But I've got to know the owners, go there for karaoke, and it's fun. Because it's in the country, though, this one gal showed up, and she had a giant box just full of dozens of eggs. So I would say probably like a dozen, 144 eggs. And she had like all these dozens of eggs, and the little sign said free. I'm like, fuck yeah, free farm fresh eggs, And I'm like, well, how fresh are they? You don't know. I don't know. So if nobody knows, or if you don't know, this is good advice for if you've got suspect eggs. The float method. So you fill a pot, a deep pot, with water. Put the eggs in carefully, and if they go to the bottom, you're good. But if they start floating, it's pretty suspect. You probably want to throw it away. I mean, it could float like a little bit, like off, and you go, well, that's an older egg, but it's probably edible. But if it's like floating at the surface, you're like, throw that one away. You don't want to crack that open. You're not going to like the smell probably. So, so I did do that with the entire. I grabbed 2 dozen because they're free. I'm like, fuck it, I'm taking them. They just had a overload of production, I guess, and all different colors too. They had brown eggs, the baby blue ones, and I know there's all different breeds that have different colors. They had white ones, like look like store bought, but I did the float test on all of them. They all passed, so I don't think it was the eggs, but my tummy's it's a little upset. Not too bad though. It's just one of those things. I think it's just because I ate a big meal after not eating all day, but yeah. So that was karaoke, and I think anyone who watches this channel knows that I love to sing. And if you've watched anything, you know I was a former lead singer in a band, or in several bands. So I started doing these driving and singing with Odin videos, which I guess people like. You know, they're more for my entertainment than anything. It's just I like singing and I like sharing that, I guess. Reminding myself that I can still do it. But when I do that, I'm always like, do people like this shit? You know, I mean, I'm just fucking around. But I like the fact that I do old songs that people would be surprised knowing my background of being a, you know, heavy metal singer and sometimes death metal singer. So, but it was funny. So 80s made again. He shared one of my videos, one of my singing videos on Twitter. And it's like, here's Odin singing away, you know, whatever. I can't remember what he said. And he's like, shared the video, and then I checked, somebody had commented on it. And somebody I'd never met before, didn't know anything about him, and they're like, yeah, Odin loves singing. Odin loves to sing, something like that. And I'm like, what? How would you know? So I thought it was such a random freaking comment. I was like, what? Odin loves singing. You've never seen you comment on anything. Maybe they're watching my videos. I don't know. We're not following each other on Twitter. It was some rando person. And I was like, that's weird. It's really weird. But you know what I did is I followed them. So now I'm following them. So that was really random. It was kind of, who the heck are you? So I turned the tables on him. You know, now I'm following that. I'm watching everything you do, whoever you are. What's that song? Hall & Oates. Private eyes are watching you. Private eyes watching you, watching you, watching you. So yeah. Anyway, I hope people like those videos. Again, that's like just some random shit that I do for my own amusement and for fun. But I really hope people are gonna like this book. I'm having fun creating it. I'm having fun getting to know everybody in the Comicsgate community, as well as just the independent comic book community at large, and just enjoying the process. That's why I say I'm slow and steady. I was really advantageous, I think, not too long ago, even at the beginning of the year, I was like, by the end of summer, I'll have my campaign. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. Not just the time that's taken to do this, but so my style's evolving, and there are pages that I've drawn. So like I said, I'm on like 46 or 47. And in all those pages, there's some that I drew and I'm like, that's good enough. But as I went back and looked at some of them, I'm like, that's not good enough. You know, this is my first book. I want it to be a treat for people. So I'm going to go redo a bunch of pages as well as doing this second story and finishing the one. So there's a lot to go. That's before adding letters, before potentially coloring it, all kinds of stuff. And that's and I'm looking at what's the right timing to set up the campaign. All kinds of things. But like I said, right now I'm just wanting to be in the community and let people know that I'm out there and make friends, enjoy my time watching streams and being around, and that's really where I'm at, because I was always like a fly on the wall. I've been watching Comicsgate streams since, for like 3 or 4 years now, and I've just never really commented. It was never my thing. I just like watching, but I was never really like, I want to talk, I want to like converse with people. I was just fly on the wall, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the videos, and now I'm like, okay, you got a real reason, because I'm just a very reserved guy by nature. I'm real independent and just kind of do my own thing. But now it's like, you have a real reason to reach out and make friends in this community, and it's not selfish. There is that element, of course. I want this book to do well. I want people to see it. I want people who are going to like it to get it, but they have to know about it. So there is that element, obviously, but I've been enjoying meeting people. I've been enjoying the humor, the knowledge. People are not just knowledgeable about creating comics, but just, fantasy, sci-fi, superhero lore, the history, the what's current, what's not. And I'm not like that. I'm like, man, and when I'm around, what they call normies or something, seem like they're like, man, you're such a nerd, you know all this shit. And I'm like, dude, there's levels to this game, man, and I'm a novice. You get into the realm with some people, and you're like, yeah, I had an opinion on that, and they're like, what the fuck are you thinking? Don't you know blah 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 blah? Back 20 years ago when they did this and they did that, and you're like, God damn it, fine. You like it more than me, I get it. And I don't know how people have so much time to like watch and read, and so much consumption of the entertainment we love, whether it's comic books, movies, video games. So. But people are immersed, and the stuff is fun. I'm not gonna lie, like, there's a certain element of escapism or whatever, but like, it's fun. Comic books are fucking fun. Movies are fun. Entertainment, it's just part of our life now. It's always been a human thing, but like, we are the saturated entertainment era of human history. It used to be that it was just rich people got entertainment, and poor people had to like make their own kind of, like, here's a stick. It's a stick. But we're in a time where entertainment rules everything. It's good and bad, of course, but enjoy the coolness of it. The creative part of it is what is so amazing. And why do I like comics so much? It's the one thing. You could be a filmmaker, but you could do it by yourself, but it would be a certain style. But you would need other people to really collaborate with, a lot of people potentially. And if you look at the credits on a movie, like a big Hollywood movie especially, I took hundreds of people working together to create this, which is awesome. Collaborative projects are awesome. I've worked in music, and you're working with 3 or 4 other dudes and or gals to make music, and it's like, that's a hard thing. I couldn't imagine putting hundreds of people together and try to make it work. That's why you need a director. But in this case, in comic books, it's like, you could do it all by yourself. And there are people that do that. Now I'm going to probably look around for sourcing certain things, but for the most part, this is just going to be me. And I really like that. And that's what I've loved about drawing since I was a little kid, was the creative aspect, that I could look at a blank sheet of paper and turn it into whatever I wanted, whatever my imagination could take me, and then When you're a kid, you go, God, my imagination is here and my ability is here. And so that's when you're like, I'm just going to keep getting better. And, you know, that's what I talk about with anybody. And it's anything in life. You know, you want to get good at it. There's no shortcuts. There's one route, and it's repetition, study, and never stopping. So what sucks is when your imagination is the biggest, that your abilities are always the smallest. So as much as possible, stay young. Stay like a child. It says it in the Bible many times. Become like a little child. There's a reason for that, you know. While that's also interwoven with, you know, lessons in maturity and how to be a man or a woman. The idea is you learn how to become a man or a woman, but never lose the spark, never lose the creative innocence that you've always had as a child. I was super creative as a child. You know, you'll never be more creative than when you're a kid. Now again, your knowledge isn't huge, but your creativity is off the charts, you know. And so I've heard somebody say this, like, you know, as an adult, if the child version of you would think you're awesome, then you kind of, that's success, kind of, you know. And I do that a lot. Like when I was in a band, I'm like, you know, my young self would think this was so cool. Creating this comic, yeah, if I look back at my young self who wanted to make comics way back when, I knew the talent wasn't there, and life has taken me all over the place before this actually came about. But that younger version of myself would think this is super cool. So I love that, and don't ever forget that. So, and with that, I'm gonna end this video. Hope that everyone out there is doing super awesome, and that you are keeping that childlike awesomeness as part of you. Don't ever lose it. As you get older, like, steel enters your soul, and it has to sometimes, so that you can weather some of the shit life throws at you, and make tough decisions as a man or woman that need to be made in the moment. And you can't do that if you don't have that element of steel in your soul. But you can never get rid of that childlike, you know, laugh at stupid stuff, get silly, have fun. It'll keep you young. And stay young as much as possible. Stay young, but stay mature and do the right thing. Because as you get older, you get a better knowledge of good and evil. And when you get that better knowledge of good and evil, more is required of you. And when more is required of you, the decisions are harder, and there's not as much leeway, because you should know better. So my dad would get mad. He wouldn't get mad when I was really little and I'd do something stupid. I didn't know better. Once I knew better, that's when I got in trouble. And that's the way it is. So stay young, do what is right. Stay young, but stay mature. And be awesome. That's all. Just be awesome. Everyone kind of knows what awesome looks like. Think about the type of person everybody you would think the world of. You know, the type of person you would just die to hang out with. Just be that person, you know. That's all. And if you don't think you're anywhere close, work on it. Figure out a way. And it's not about, like, trying to be something you're not. It's about refining who you are to be the best you that you can be. So all that said, getting so philosophical and motivational, but I hope somebody gleans some helpful insight from that. That said, I'm going to end this video. Hope you're all, like I said, doing awesome. And until next time, we'll see you around. Later.